It's the right time for Countryside. Get the countryside feeling the minute you enter Countryside Flower Shop and Garden Center.
Hi, welcome to How To Tuesdays. My name is Amanda Nicolai, CFD, ICPF, ICD. I'm one of several designers here at Countryside Flower Shop, Nursery and Garden Center. Today I'm going to show you how to make a Thanksgiving Day arrangement. I've chosen not to make your typical Thanksgiving Day centerpiece, as many of us will not be celebrating the traditional Thanksgiving that we have in past years. The arrangement I'm going to make is going to be perfect for a coffee table, your dining table, a kitchen table, wherever you need to put something to make Thanksgiving special. So you'll have different ordering options when it comes to today's design. The first is a kit where you will receive everything that I am using today, from the floral packet that you need to mix your water with, to the wire that you're going to bind and make your armature with, to the stems of flowers. Or you can just order the pre-made design and we'll have it delivered or ready for you to pick up. You're going to need wire cutters, stem cutters, or a knife if you prefer. A kitchen pruning knife will work as well. You will be receiving 6 pieces of pre-taped wire, 4 of which you are going to set aside, and 2 you are going to cut into quarters. You don't have to measure. You're just going to cut them so that you have approximately 4-inch long pieces. We'll bring our flowers up here. And you're going to take your greens out first. This is agonis, and you can cut the agonis into several pieces, and you want to be sure to clean off the bottom 5 or 6 inches of the stems so that none of that is in the water. And every piece is different. So if you pick up a kit, if you're doing it yourself, you may get 3, you may get 5, or you may get 6 pieces to work with, depending on how many pieces you cut it into. And the next thing we're going to use is the Floral. Again, you are just going to cut it into manageable sized pieces. Some of the pieces you'll receive may have 2 or 3 branches, but you're going to cut them into all one individual piece. And next we're going to take our willow yoke and do the same thing as the agonis, cleaning off the bottom 4 or 5 inches of the stems. All right. This is pampas grass, the same thing that you'll see growing along the roadways. I'm going to cut today's into 3 pieces, and you just kind of peel that back so that you can see the stem and just give it a trim, and then we can leave this one long. If you have hairspray at home, you can spray the pampas grass with hairspray to prevent it from shedding. And then we're going to take our flowers and get those prepared. These are daisy pumps. Any of the longer stems you can break off and set aside so that you have about 8 or so inches. And again, these ones that you break off would be perfect for little votives or something if you just want to have them set around a small vase or something for later. You're going to get 4 carnations, and again, you're just going to clean the foliage off of those. And your alstroemeria, there's not much you need to do with that. So the next thing we're going to do is clean up our roses. Again, any foliage. Roses have what we call guard petals that protects them when they're growing and when they get chipped, so you can remove those. And our mini carnations are just like our agonis. You can look for a split and make 2 stems out of them. So now our flowers are all ready. Now we're going to make our armature. So you're going to take your 4 pieces of flame willow. And this is where your small wires come in. You're just going to bend kind of a loop around that size. It doesn't matter if it gets pointy angles on you. It doesn't have to be perfectly round. You're not going to see a lot of it anyway. And each piece is going to get formed into 2 loops. They don't have to be the same. And you can get dimension. They don't have to be flat. You can kind of stand them up. And this isn't going to be in the water either, so you can see that I'm going to the complete end of the stem, and that's where I'm binding it. When we get done with all four, this is what's going to be supporting your arrangement. And when I say arrangement, we're going to actually make a hand-tied bouquet. So this will make it easier for you to hold everything together and to get some depth. So once you have all four, you're going to take 3 more pieces of your wire, and you're just going to start putting these together. And there is no right or wrong. It's kind of however they fit and you think they look good, but you do want to have it so that you have some dimension to it, so that they overlap and that they're not all flat and going in the same directions. Add our last piece. That last piece is usually just gonna go in wherever you have a flat spot from the other 3. Alright, so now those are all attached together. You can take, you're gonna have 6 pieces of wire down here now, so you can take those and wrap them together so that they stay secure. And then go ahead and take your wire cutters and make that section of wire stems a little bit shorter, and you'll understand why when we get done. Okay, so now you have your armature. Now we can start putting in the flowers. We're going to start with the pampas grass, just because it gives you a little bit more to hold on to. And you can take all 3 pieces, and you're kind of going to keep them off, if you create a triangle, if you will, kind of off to one side. This is going to be an asymmetrical bouquet. And the nice thing about doing it is a hand tied. If you put something in some place and you don't like where it is, you can take it out and very easily move it. So we're going to take our agonis next and kind of balance off where you had your pampas grass. And again, there is no right or wrong. Your pieces that you've got in your kit will basically determine the overall size of your arrangement, so you don't have to be afraid that it's going to be too big. Now we're going to go ahead and start with our daisies, and we're going to put our daisies in. And again, just pull them through. We're going to kind of group things together so that you don't have, you're going to have groupings of things. So after we've got our daisies in, I think we'll put our alstroemeria over on this side. And again, at any point, if you are lost, just stop your video, rewind, and hit play again. Now we'll go with our carnations. And these we're kind of going to go in between the 2. We'll get that carnation in there. And then we'll bring this guy down here. Don't be afraid to tuck some of them really far down in where you're holding this all together with your hands, because that's what's going to get you that depth into your arrangement. You can kind of see how those are kind of tucked way down in, but you can still see everything. And that's what that armature is here for, because that gives you that separation. Now we can take our roses. I think we'll spin it around and we'll go kind of on this side to balance out the yellow daisies. Alright, so that's our roses. Now we have our mini carnations. So we'll bring those around and balance out our standard carnations. You can have some up tall again for your dimensions. And then we'll fill in with, if you have any of the agonis left, now is a good time, and you can kind of see I've got stuff going this way and this way, so I'm going to bring this piece off to the front and this piece off to the back, and that'll kind of balance it out. Our willow uke. If you want, I don't have a lot of foliage up here in this center area, so I'm going to take this piece and kind of go, and kind of makes you look for that carnation, but I kind of like having to look into things to see all the depth. Alright, so now we have all of our flowers in and all of our foliage except for the Floral, so now we can add our dried. Now we're going to take our lotus pods. I kind of have this pole over here. I'm going to fill that, and you can very easily hold this and spin it around so that you can see where your holes are if you can't see it from all one direction. And then I'm going to kind of put this one up on top of this carnation over here so that you really have to look for that carnation down in there. And then these are really cool new fall mushrooms that we got in this year. And so these you can just kind of, if you think you have holes, they just add some texture and that. And again, the nice thing about doing a hand tied is if you don't like where it is, you take it out and you put it somewhere else. It's not like you've cut all of your stems and you can't do anything else with them. So once you have those in, you got 3 pieces of wheat. You can either put them all in at once or separate them. And then this is bleached ruscus, and that's just kind of going to go at the base to balance off the colors of the pampas grass. Then you're going to take your Floral and just color around everything. And that's what's going to hide all of your stems and any of that wire from that armature that we made. Then the easiest way to bind this is take that last piece of wire and wrap it around. And you can actually go around twice. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. You can go around and then spin it. And it should be long enough for you to go around a second time. If not, if you have string or anything like that at home, it also works. Now we're going to take our vase, which you also got in your kit. I have mine pre-filled with the water. And this is kind of the tricky part, is figuring out how short to cut your stems without cutting them too short. So if you kind of hold your vase up, and you want all of your Floral to kind of fit on there, so you can kind of eyeball where you want to cut those stems. And you can always cut more off. If you don't cut enough, you can always go back and cut more. So my rule of thumb is leave it slightly longer than you think you need to, and go back and cut more. So it should go down in there and set. If it kind of goes sideways on you like that, you can take it and just give it another trim. Sometimes it's just 1 or 2 stems. And then just plop it back in there. And now once you have it to that stage, You can actually kind of tweak it a little bit more if things aren't quite where you want them. Use that armature to your advantage and use it to prop things up. Flowers are fragile, but you can actually get them to move quite a bit. All right, so there we have our completed design. And again, if at any point you were lost, just hit stop and rewind or go back and get caught up. Now, the nice thing about this is I made this exact arrangement in 2 different color combinations. Well, 3 including that one. So these all have the identical stems of flowers in them, just in different colors. 3 roses, 2 daisies, 4 carnations, 2 mini carnations. They're all identical, but you get 3 drastically different arrangements. I hope you enjoyed today's How To Tuesday. Remember, you can order any of these arrangements online as is, designed to your home or for pickup in any of the 3 color combinations. The one is obviously neutrals, then we have our traditional fall colors, which is the reds, the burgundies, the oranges, and the butterscotches. And then there is bright fall, which is yellow, orange, the touch of hot pink, and the browns. And there is some purple in there and the alstroemeria. You also, obviously, the whole purpose was the kit. So the kit also is available in all 3 colors. You just need to specify when you call to order it. The kit, which contains everything that you saw me use today, is $55. The designed arrangement is $80. So if you want to pick it up, it'll be $80. Or if you want to have it delivered, it's $80 plus the delivery. Or the kit, if you want to do it yourself at home, is $55. Thank you for joining us on How To Tuesdays, and I hope to see you soon.